Some people hide their past. She hid her present. I never thought a Facebook notification would end my engagement. It was a Tuesday afternoon in March when everything I believed about my life turned out to be fiction. I'm not talking about small lies or hidden credit card debt. I'm talking about the kind of deception that makes you question whether you ever really knew someone at all. My name's Tyler, and 2 years ago I met a woman named Vanessa at a photography exhibit downtown. She was standing in front of a black and white portrait, completely absorbed, and when she turned around we started talking about composition and lighting. That conversation lasted 3 hours. We got coffee that turned into dinner. Dinner turned into a weekend together. Within months we were inseparable. Vanessa worked in pharmaceutical sales, which explained her frequent travel. She'd be gone 3 or 4 days at a time for conferences, training sessions, client meetings. I worked in software development from home, so our schedules actually complemented each other well. When she was traveling, I could focus on my projects. When she was back, we made every moment count. She was smart, funny, attentive. She remembered tiny details about conversations we'd had weeks earlier. She knew I liked my coffee with just a splash of milk, that I preferred driving to flying, that I had a complicated relationship with my older sister. She'd text me pictures from whatever city she was visiting, hotel lobbies, conference rooms, restaurant meals. Everything seemed so normal, so real. After 18 months together, I knew I wanted to marry her. I planned the proposal for her birthday, nothing elaborate, just the two of us on a weekend trip to this cabin by a lake she'd mentioned loving as a kid. I set up candles along the dock, waited until sunset, and asked her to spend her life with me. She cried. She said yes immediately. She kept saying, "I can't believe this is happening," over and over. At the time I thought it was joy. Now I understand it was probably panic. When we got back to the city, Vanessa wanted to announce it on social media right away. She said her family was scattered across the country and this was the easiest way to share the news with everyone at once. She'd always been active online, posting about her travels, sharing food pictures, the usual stuff. I wasn't big on social media myself, barely checked my accounts, but I understood why she wanted to celebrate this way. She chose one of the photos from the proposal. We're standing on that dark, golden hour lighting, her hand extended toward the camera showing off the ring. Genuinely beautiful moment. She wrote this caption about finding her soulmate, about never giving up on love, about starting the next chapter. She tagged me, added some hearts and ring emojis, hit post. Within 5 minutes the reactions started flooding in. Former classmates, work colleagues, distant relatives, everyone congratulating us. Comments were exactly what you'd expect. "So happy for you both. You deserve this. Beautiful couple." Vanessa was glowing, reading each one out loud, responding with thank you messages. I went to the kitchen to open a bottle of wine we'd been saving. We were going to toast to our future, call my parents, make plans. I was pouring the glasses when I heard her phone hit the floor. I walked back into the living room and she was frozen, staring at her screen with a look I'd never seen on her face before. Not shock exactly, more like she'd been caught doing something she knew was wrong and had just run out of places to hide. "What's wrong?" I asked. She didn't answer. She just kept staring at the phone. Her hands were shaking. I picked it up from where it had fallen. The screen was still on, showing her post. And there, among all the congratulatory comments, was one that made absolutely no sense. It was from someone named Andrew Morrison. The comment said, "Congratulations, honey. This is quite a surprise. See you when you get home tonight." Honey, not congrats or wow or anything a random acquaintance would say. Honey, like they were close, like they were intimate. And see you when you get home tonight, not hope to see you soon or let's catch up. Like they live together. "Who's Andrew Morrison?" I asked. Vanessa's face had gone completely white. "Tyler, I can explain. Who is he?" She closed her eyes. "He's my husband." Those 4 words created a silence so heavy I could feel it pressing against my chest. I waited for her to laugh, to say it was some kind of terrible joke, that Andrew was her brother or cousin or childhood friend with a weird sense of humor. But she just stood there, not moving, barely breathing. "Your husband," I repeated. The words felt foreign in my mouth. "We've been separated," she said quickly. "Emotionally, I mean, we've been separated emotionally for over a year. It's complicated. You're married." I wasn't asking, I was trying to make it real by saying it out loud. "On paper, yes, but does he think you're married?" She didn't answer that, which was an answer. I felt like the floor had disappeared beneath me. 2 years, 2 entire years of building a relationship, making plans, talking about children and mortgages and growing old together. And the entire time she'd had a husband, not an ex-husband, a current, active, waiting for her to come home husband. "The business trips," I said slowly. "You weren't traveling for work. Some of them were real," she said weakly. "But most of them weren't. You were going home to him, to your actual life." The pieces were assembling themselves in my head now. The way she never wanted me to pick her up from the airport, how she'd never invite me to any of her work events, the fact that in 2 years I'd never met a single person from her office, the way she'd sometimes take calls in another room and come back looking stressed. She'd been living 2 completely separate lives. She had a whole existence I knew nothing about. Marriage, home, probably friends, maybe family, entire routines and relationships that included this Andrew person and excluded me entirely. "How long?" I asked. "How long have you been married?" 6 years. 6 years. I'd been someone's secret for 2 years while she maintained a 6-year marriage. I wasn't even the other man, I was the other man. I was the affair, the side piece, the thing she did when she got bored at home. Does he know about me? I asked. No, he thought I was working. So you lied to both of us continuously for 2 years. Tyler, please, was any of it real? I cut her off. Anything you told me, the stories about your childhood, your family, your dreams, was any of that actually true? All of that was true, she said, and she was crying now. My feelings for you are real. Everything between us is real. The marriage is it's just something I didn't know how to get out of. You didn't know how to get a divorce, but you knew how to get engaged to someone else. She didn't have an answer for that either. I looked at the ring on her finger, the ring I'd saved 4 months for, the ring I'd chosen because the jeweler said the setting would complement her hand perfectly. She was still wearing it. Take it off, I said. Tyler, take off the ring. Now. She slid it off slowly and tried to hand it to me. I didn't take it. I just turned and walked into the bedroom, grabbed my laptop bag and phone charger. I'd been staying at her place that she apparently shared with someone else when I wasn't around for the past 3 weeks. Where are you going? She asked from the doorway. Away from you. Please, can we just talk about this? I love you. I really do love you. I stopped and looked at her, really looked at her. This woman I'd thought I was going to marry, this woman I'd trusted completely, this woman who'd constructed an elaborate double life and maintained it flawlessly for 730 days. You don't love me, I said. You don't even respect me enough to be honest. You had 2 years to tell me the truth, 2 years to make a choice. Instead, you chose to lie to everyone. That's not love, Vanessa. I don't know what that is, but it's not love. I left her apartment and drove to my brother's place across town. He let me in without asking questions, just pointed to the guest room and said I could stay as long as I needed. I didn't sleep that night. I just kept replaying every moment of the previous 2 years, wondering what was real and what was performance. Did she really love that cabin by the lake, or was that another lie? Were her parents actually scattered across the country, or had she just said that so I wouldn't ask to meet them? How many times had she said I love you right before going home to her husband? The next morning I logged into Facebook for the first time in months. Her engagement post was gone, deleted, like it had never happened, like our entire relationship could just be erased with a single click, but Andrew Morrison's comment was burned into my memory. I searched for his profile, found it immediately, and there they were, photos going back years. Andrew and Vanessa at weddings, on vacation, at family gatherings. Their own wedding photos from 6 years ago, Vanessa in a white dress, both of them smiling like their future was secure. There were even photos from the past few months. Recent ones, them at a restaurant, hiking somewhere. A selfie from 2 weeks ago with the caption, date night with my beautiful wife. 2 weeks ago, I'd been with her 2 weeks ago. She told me she was at a conference in Chicago. Instead, she'd been on a date night with her husband. I felt physically sick. Over the next few days, my phone exploded with calls and texts from her. Long messages explaining, justifying, begging. She said the marriage had been dead for years. She said she'd been planning to leave him but hadn't found the right time. She said meeting me had shown her what real love felt like. She said she'd made a terrible mistake, but we could fix this. I blocked her number, blocked her on every platform. I wanted nothing from her, not explanations, not apologies, nothing. My brother asked if I wanted to confront Andrew, tell him what had been happening. I thought about it. Part of me wanted him to know. But a bigger part of me just wanted to walk away from the entire situation. Let her deal with the consequences of her choices. Let her explain to her husband why a stranger commented on her engagement announcement. That wasn't my responsibility anymore. 3 weeks later, I got a message from an unknown number. It was Andrew. He'd found my information somehow, probably from that deleted Facebook post. He said Vanessa had told him everything. He said they were getting divorced. He said he was sorry I'd gotten caught up in her mess. He said she'd done this before with someone else years ago. He'd forgiven her then. He wouldn't make that mistake again, so I wasn't even the first. I was just the latest in what was apparently a pattern. I thanked him for reaching out, wished him well, and deleted that message too. It's been 8 months now. I moved to a different part of the city, changed jobs, started rebuilding my life from scratch. I'm not bitter, at least. I'm working on not being bitter. Mostly I'm just more careful now, more aware that people can maintain elaborate fictions for years if they're motivated enough. I don't think I'll ever fully understand why she did it. Maybe she loved us both. Maybe she loved neither of us. Maybe she loved the excitement of maintaining 2 separate worlds. I'll never know, and I've accepted that. What I do know is this: 1 Facebook post, 1 comment from a stranger, 15 seconds of truth broke through 2 years of lies. Sometimes that's all it takes. Sometimes the walls people build around their deceptions collapse from the smallest crack, and sometimes the worst betrayal isn't what someone did to you. It's realizing they were capable of doing it at all. I'm single now, taking my time, meeting new people slowly, carefully. And when someone tells me something about their life, I don't just believe them automatically anymore. I verify, I pay attention, I watch for inconsistencies. Because I learned the hardest way possible that social media might show you someone's highlight reel, but sometimes if you're paying attention, it also shows you the truth they're desperately trying to hide. All it took was 1 comment. 1 devastating, perfectly timed comment. Congratulations, honey, see you tonight. Those 6 words saved me from marrying a lie.